Hello and welcome to Reality TV Cringe. I'm one of your hosts, Delia, here with my real tight homegirl and my daughter-in-law, the beautiful green-haired goddess, Beatrice.
That's me.
We are here to have our continued conversation on those Mormons, Cody Brown and his many wives.
Yes.
We are currently in the process of doing a rewind, which means we are recapping season 6. And today we're going to be talking about episode 5, which I cannot wait to get into.
Yeah.
Beatrice.
Me too.
But before we do have to issue you a polite disclaimer. Please, hide your wife and hide your kids. This is a politically incorrect podcast. We have stupid opinions.
Objectively.
We sometimes say bad words. Not a lot.
Yeah.
We try not to.
Sure.
We're on a campaign to not do that.
Yeah, we're on a cleanse.
We're on a cleanse. But if you're sensitive,
go away, you little baby. Go cry in your
you
diaper.
might want to find yourself another dumpster.
Bye.
But if you're ready to enjoy Christmas in the cul-de-sac, welcome to this dumpster.
And if you like what we do over here and you like our wigs especially, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Reality TV Cringe and join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Reality TV Cringe. We are continuing our coverage of 1,000 Pound Best Friends over there.
So much fun.
And it is
so
crazy.
Much fun.
Yeah.
We're also still journeying with those crazy New Yorkers in couples therapy with Dr. Orna.
We love that show.
And we have some shows that are going to be popping off in the next couple of months that I very dearly want to follow. For example, Beatrice.
Yeah.
I sent you a DM on the IG of a new show that TLC is releasing called Polyfamily, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like two married couples that create a quad polycule. So the husband bangs both of those wives. Both of those wives bang both of the husbands. Everybody's banging each other.
Everyone's banging
each other.
Everyone's screwing.
And there's problems.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Who would have seen that coming?
Oh, not me.
And I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Me too.
But Beatrice is saying that we might have to cover that on Patreon because you're fixing to get set off.
Yeah. I don't know if I can hold back for the YouTube gods
You're
on
not
that
gonna
one.
You're going to be turbo politically incorrect.
100%.
Over on Patreon.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of things that are coming up. And if you want to support us, it truly is the best way to do that.
Yeah.
And also, if you are watching on YouTube, first of all, it's lovely to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Please, if you'd be so kind, don't forget to like and comment and share and subscribe as we continue to climb and almost summit the K2 of our podcast, which is 5,000 subscribers on YouTube.
We are very close. We're at 4.98.
Oh,
edging up to 5K, girl.
It's getting tantric in
I
here.
know.
We are almost there.
Almost.
We're about to go up. We're about to make it to 5,000. So don't forget to do all of those things,
Please
people
and
on
thanks.
YouTube. It really does help us. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's get right into this fantastic episode. Well, it wasn't that fantastic,
Yeah, I was gonna
but there
say.
were a couple of parts
Yeah.
that I thought were quite fascinating.
There were some little nuggets in there
Yeah.
that were pretty juicy.
Yes.
We start off the episode with everybody but Mary moving into their houses.
Yikes.
And you have Leon throwing a little teenage tantrum.
Working in the salt mines, honey.
Yep. Driving their car into the middle of the cul-de-sac
In the dark.
in the dark just to stare at their house and cry.
And all of the other kids are running around because they've all moved into their big mansions in the
They
cul-de-sac.
pick their rooms.
But there's Leon just crying in the minivan hoodie.
Yep. And Mary tries to talk to Leon, and Mary's like, "What's wrong?" As if she doesn't know what the heck is
What do you
wrong
think
with
is
Leon.
wrong, Mary?
And Leon's like, "I'm pissed off, Mom.
I'm mad. Really mad about it.
I felt for Leon.
And Leon's like, it's unfair.
It is.
Every single other child in this family is in their home, but here we are like a couple of vagabonds stuck out in the cold.
Yeah.
And it's not fair.
Well, and Mary can't even tell Leon what's wrong. Like, Mary can't even get into the financials, can't talk about what's delaying anything. Mary's just like, I don't know if we're gonna make it in before Christmas.
So that was really weird to me because Mary's explaining this to us on camera, like saying that Leon is asking, like, why? How come us?
Of course.
How come we're last?
Yeah.
And Mary doesn't have answers to give to Leon. But then she's like, and even the financial stuff, there's a chance that our loan will not go through.
Yeah, what does
Our
that
loan
mean?
will not be funded. And I really can't explain why that is to Leon. And
What
I'm
do you
just like,
mean?
I mean, how can that be? You're literally a couple of days away
Uh-huh.
from getting into the home and you're worried that your loan's not going to be funded?
That doesn't make sense. If Robyn can get approved with her loan,
Honey.
why can't you get approved,
Because
Mary?
she's the only wife who is legally attached to Cody.
Mm.
And this could mean that Cody's credit is
crap.
really terrible.
Maybe.
Maybe Cody's work history, maybe his bankruptcy history
Maybe.
is a problem. But I don't know. All I know
still-
is Mary's like, it's a mystery to me why we grifters can't get into these homes. I don't know why.
Maybe that's just her covering up for the fact that she was scrapbooking
Yeah.
and delaying Danny the builder from building her house.
not submitting paperwork.
Making a bunch of last minute changes
Yes.
to the blinds and to her floors and
Yes.
her wet bar.
Right.
Maybe that's just a cover up because Mary knows she messed up. And
Right.
she's the one that broke the promise to Leon. And she wants to blame everybody else
Right.
but herself.
But meanwhile, your child is out here crying in a minivan, and it's because of you.
Yeah, 100% it's because of you. It's ridiculous. And then this is where Christine on the couch makes some weird out-of-pocket comment about the fact that Mary feels left out, probably feels left out from the houses because everybody else is moving in, just like when everybody else was popping out all them babies
Yes.
and Mary's womb was drying up before their eyes. Like, it was such a
Like
weird
making
comment.
some strange connection between Mary's infertility and Mary's inability to get into this house by Christmas, which just further proves our point that
Mhm.
some of these women will take any opportunity whatsoever to make Mary seem like less than a woman
Yeah.
or less than like worthy of her fair share in this
Mhm.
family because of her inability to have more children. It was just like, it didn't need to be said.
No.
I'm sure you're thinking that. That's okay. But like, you don't have to share that, particularly on the couch, on camera,
On TV.
for the entire nation.
I know. And I'm like, what is this? This is like, I sense a little bit of passive aggression because,
Mhm.
like, I'm like, are you doing this because Mary's a BSETH to y'all, like, off camera, and you're just doing this just to stab her a little bit on the couch? Or, like, are you just thinking that it means well when it really doesn't, when we're just
Mhm.
talking about the fact that Mary can't have another kid? Maybe it's to propel the stupid storyline between Mary and Cody begging her to have a kid and begging to use Robyn as a surrogate. Maybe that's why they're making the comments.
I don't know. I kind of like your idea that maybe it's a passive aggressive dig. And when we get further into this episode and we have the conversation between Cody and Mary, wherein Mary's making the connection between Leon's behavior being very similar to her behavior and how she acted, especially in the beginning of their marriage, like maybe there's a reason these people hate you.
Yeah,
Maybe there's a reason these people are taking passive aggressive swipes at you, and it's because you dealt with them in an aggressive way for many years.
Well, let's just talk about that because
Okay.
Cody, like, straight up says that he cringes at Leon and Mary's relationship. He says that Leon and Mary are very much the same person. He tells Mary that straight up, and Mary, like, at first is like, oh, shut up, but then has a moment of self-reflection and says, you know, yeah, like, I see a lot of myself in them, and I can understand now how that would have been a lot for you because I was acting a lot like Leon back in the day, and now I'm realizing at my big age of 42 or whatever, how old she is at this point, she realizes that wasn't okay, and that was a lot. And I don't know. Cody seems so over it at this point.
For me, I literally had an epiphany sitting on my recliner hoodie. I was like, oh my God, that makes perfect sense. Your child is growing up to be a mini you, behaving in much the same way that you behaved when you were just 12 years older than they are currently. So you were 19 years old when you married Cody. And so Leon is exhibiting the same behavior that you exhibited to Cody. And you've been asking yourself for many years, like, why? why don't they like me? Or why is it so hard? Or why do I feel so unsafe all the time?
What's up?
It's because, and she's maybe coming into the consciousness of the fact that she mistreated people, just like maybe Leon is in the process of doing the same toward her and toward other family members as well, which we get to at St. Lucia Day or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was meaningful. Like, this was a meaningful observation. And I'm watching Mary try to share this with Cody and actually say, like, actually, I get it.
Yeah.
I realize how you must have felt
Mhm.
dealing with me because I'm currently dealing with Leon. And instead of Cody, like, taking a beat or taking a breath and saying something like, oh my God, breakthrough.
Yeah.
Instead of that, he's like, you talk too much.
Like, stop
All
talking.
you do is talk and talk and talk. Let me deal with Leon. I'll take care of it. You just stay right here. And Mary's like, okay.
All right.
I'm just trying to say that I sympathize with what you've been through because I've been a major bitch.
Mhm.
But he storms off to have a conversation with Leon. And that too was very interesting.
That was ridiculous, that whole conversation with Cody. But yeah, I mean, I liked the moment of self-reflection from Mary. Like, it should have probably happened a little bit sooner than 40 something.
Mhm.
But I'm glad that she's finally realizing it now that she's raising Leon and sees herself in Leon. That's like a really pivotal moment. I feel like a lot of parents probably see that,
Sure.
like, especially as your kids come of age, like, you realize, like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
Like, that was me when I was younger, and you're so far removed from it that sometimes it's hard to, like, have that moment of reflection. So it was good that Mary had that. Cody was not receptive to it at all. And it just speaks to his emotional immaturity and also Mary's emotional immaturity, because she's also making Leon's feelings kind of all about her.
Mhm.
Even in these moments, she's just like, I don't know what to do with Leon. I don't know why they're so upset. And I'm like, what do you mean? How do you not know why they're
Because you
upset?
gave Leon an expectation of being with the rest of the family,
Mhm.
celebrating at the same time and with the rest of the family
You
for Christmas.
promised.
And once again, Leon is feeling like they're othered.
Mhm.
And Mary, you're being othered.
Yep.
And Leon is sitting back watching you get last place again. And
Mhm.
again, you're the wife who doesn't get to have additional children. And remember when Robyn announced her pregnancy with Saul,
Mhm.
Leon went up to the bathroom and actually cried because Leon knew how this was going to impact their mother. And so there's a lot going on here. It's like not just about you, Mary. Like, there's
Yep.
a lot of actual emotional triage that we need to be doing for Leon.
Yep.
And the best we can do is send Cody's ass in there to tell them to essentially keep sweet. Let's get to that conversation.
That made me so mad, because Leon has every right to be upset and to be angry,
Yes.
and they're a teenager, so they don't know how to emotionally regulate. They don't know how to deal with anything. Their frontal lobe is not even fully developed
And
at this
nobody's
point.
offering them therapy or anything.
Nothing. And so, like, Leon is acting out because they're mad. They don't know how to deal with all of the emotions they're feeling. And they're dealing with puberty and high school and graduating and their family being dysfunctional AF and having to move around multiple times. Like, not only just to Vegas, but in those rental homes and then out of the rental homes. And then dealing with Mary breaking their promise to them. Like, there's so much that Leon's dealing with. And so, of course, they're acting out. Of course, they're mad. Of course, they're upset. And Cody comes over there and he tries a little bit to have a kind of mature conversation by saying, maybe Leon, don't take it out on the rest of the family. Like, I get that you're upset. I understand why you're upset. But at the same time, maybe when you're upset, just go and separate yourself for a few minutes from the family and then come back and be sweet. And be the nice, kind, optimistic self that you actually are. Don't be sad, because remember, you're with your family.
He's literally telling them to have a disposition of cheer. And like how important it is and the kind of impact it makes on the rest of the family if you just keep sweet and be nice. And interestingly, Leon is sitting there crying. I think Leon really looks up for whatever reason to Cody.
Well, it's their dad.
And and Leon's taking it very seriously. But I'm like, in this moment, this is not what Leon needs.
No.
They need somebody to just sit there and allow them to vent and off gas what they're going through in this moment, as opposed to like putting another expectation on them of how they've got to behave and act and conduct themselves so that everybody else is comfortable around them.
Yeah.
That is so unfair.
It's so lame. And they're just taking, like, both Cody and Mary, and probably the rest of the family, is taking Leon's outbursts personally. Like, it affects them so much that they want to tell Leon, stop it. Just be sweet. Be nice. Don't be sad. It's like, no, like, they're a teenager. They're dealing with a lot. They need their parent to just empathize with them and hug them maybe and tell them it's going to be okay. We're going to figure it out. Like, do you want to talk about it? We're here to listen. No, it's just Cody giving a lecture and it's stupid. And like, I don't know why he was insisting on taking care of the relationship, like, or taking care of Leon's emotions here. I don't know why he wanted to take that from Mary. Maybe it was just for the cameras to make it seem like, oh, he's a good dad.
Right.
He cares
I'm
about
the priest
Leon's
of
feelings.
the family. Let me step in and take care of this problem.
Maybe that's what it was.
Right.
But also, like, I don't think Mary was being super, like, empathetic to Leon's feelings either, because Leon and Mary are kind of a weird dynamic. They seem a little enmeshed together.
Right. And previous to this, Mary is giving Leon all of this hope and, again, this expectation that they're going to be able to get into this home. And then all of a sudden, Mary's got no answers.
Yeah.
And I really don't know how to explain the finances, and I don't really know how to explain the timeline. And all of a sudden, all of this hope and surety that I gave you is just gone, and I've got nothing for you.
Right.
And so, of course, Leon is sitting there floundering. Now, I will just point out that this is the beginning of the Leon arc in which I begin to truly dislike Leon because of the way they conduct themselves and indeed because of the way they treat Mary.
Yeah.
Especially over the catfish thing and making fun of Mary's eyebrows. And there's like a lot of cruel things that Leon actually did. I think we're just at the beginning of that season.
Yeah.
So at this point right now, separating myself from what I know about that, I have a lot of compassion for this child and I feel really bad for them, but it's gonna get worse.
And like, can't you see like why they go down this like villain arc and like why they start acting out even more and start becoming mean? Because they have these parents that quite frankly suck. Like, Mary's not great. She's not emotionally regulated.
And Mary's mean.
100%.
And Mary has a predisposition in her emotionality and psychology to be mean and dismissive and many other traits.
Exactly.
And I wondered to you on the WhatsApp today, I'm like, is there some sort of a personality disorder that was inherited by Leon? I'm not sure. But like, there's also that component as well, correct?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and it's because Mary has not gone to therapy or dealt with her issues. Now she's doing Worthy Up, but she hasn't worthied up her own self. Like, she's got issues. She needs therapy. She needs to talk about her feelings instead of just being like, what's up? It's unsafe.
Right.
No, be vulnerable and figure out the root of your issues. Where does that meanness come from? Does it come from being belittled constantly from Cody, being married to Cody for 20 years? Maybe you should deal with that instead of sympathizing for him constantly, even to this day in season 19.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Mary's got problems. So, and it doesn't excuse her behavior. It doesn't excuse her aggression or her meanness or her bad parenting to Leon. And it doesn't excuse Leon's behavior either. Leon should get therapy too. They're probably in therapy now. But like, you know, they should work on their stuff. But I can see why Leon goes down the path that they go down.
Well, as Prince said, children only imitate their atmosphere. I'm just saying.
Facts.
Check out the atmosphere.
Mic drop.
Honey. Yeah.
Yep. I can see that 100%. And then at some point we have some introduction to a stupid caramel competition via Cody.
Who cares? It's funny because as I was watching this, I was like, did they do this last season? Because I could have swore I already saw this entire thing, but that's because for Christmas on Patreon, we actually watched the special Christmas episode, and we saw this already.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I was bored then as well.
100%.
And I'm bored here now too.
It's very boring.
Yeah.
Cody wants the wives to make caramel just like his mommy did because it was a tradition for every year for 40 years for Christmas. She made her famous caramels with walnuts in them for some reason. And so he wants all the wives to make it. He wants to pit them against each other and make a competition. Who can make mommy's caramels the best? And whoever's the winner is worthy of being Cody's wife.
That will guarantee that I will shit in your caramels. I will shit right in your caramels, Cody.
Just straight diarrhea in there.
Yeah, diarrhea all up in it. There's your caramels. Merry Christmas.
For real, though. Well, and he makes a comment like, I know people watching this might think I'm a misogynistic pig, but
Yes.
actually I have an
Yes.
ulterior motive here. It's because I want more caramels.
No, that part, the misogynistic pig part. That part.
That's exactly why.
Yeah.
And we have Christine taking this competition very seriously.
Yes.
Like the Aries that she is.
Well,
and
and
also
she's-
a cook.
She's a cook. She's
Yeah.
the homebody. She likes to
That would be me too.
provide for these kids.
Yeah.
And she loves doing that.
Yeah, that would be me too. Like,
Mhm.
I would totally be like, I'm
Yes.
gonna win this competition.
And you would.
I would, yeah,
Mhm.
because I would want to make it perfect. And Christine does. She like makes 3 batches because she burns the first 2,
Mhm.
and then the 3rd batch ends up being just right. We have Janelle enlisting her mom to make the caramels for her, so Janelle can go work on the taxes or something,
Right.
and not have to actually
Go to the movies.
cook.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the movies.
Total Taurus. I love it. I
Yeah.
think it's great. And I mean, she would have an in because her mom is married to Cody's dad and apparently
Right.
used to make the caramels with Cody's mom during Christmases and stuff.
Right.
And that is so
I-
messy.
Yeah, and we talk about it from time to time, and I'm reminded about how strange that is. And just to catch everybody up, in case you didn't know, which
Yeah.
I know all of you already know forensically.
Yeah.
So when Janelle was courting Cody
Mm-hmm.
and they were contemplating marriage together, her mother Cheryl heard about that nonsense with them kids
Mm-hmm.
and came into town to check and see what was going on. And while there, met Cody's father, Wynn,
Yeah.
the cattle rancher.
And fell in
In
love
Wyoming.
with that belt buckle.
Apparently
honey.
fell in love with Wynn, who was married to Janelle,
Uh-huh.
a lady named Janelle,
Cody's mama.
Cody's mama, and fell in love and became Wynn's second wife before Janelle even became Cody's second wife.
Well, and that's
Which
what's
is
so crazy.
Wild.
Because apparently Janelle said her mom was worried
Mhm.
that Janelle being interested in Cody would mean that she was getting sucked into a polygamist cult.
Mhm.
And then Janelle's mom ends up getting into that polygamist
It's
cult.
the magical polygamous ding dong, honey.
I guess.
It's the magical ding
I
dong.
mean, listen, if Wynn Brown was a big old cattle rancher, maybe he was hung. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe. Or
I don't
maybe
know. I've never
like
seen
he
his
had a
dad.
ranch and it was a working ranch. But when we visited Wynn's
It was kinda
ranch in
booty.
season 1 or whatever, and they went to paint
Yeah.
their mom's house, I'm like, it's kind of
The
run
rotten
down.
house that Cody's mom
Yeah.
lived in.
And Cheryl lived in the better
Yeah.
house, and Wynn spent all her time with Cheryl, which is a
Yep.
harbinger of things to come for everybody.
Mhm.
But I didn't get the impression that Wynn was a man of means or wealth.
No. That's what I'm
But you
saying.
know, there's no accounting for falling in love.
Yeah, sure.
Lightning struck right in
Right.
Cheryl's pussy.
In the
Sorry. Right in her puss puss.
For real though.
I know.
And so while Cheryl's making the caramels for Janelle in the competition, then we
Yeah.
have Mary and Robyn. And Robyn is not happy about this competition at all. She's like, it's Christmas, but it's actually January 2nd.
Which
and
we haven't even talked about really, but we'll
haven't.
get it to
We'll
it.
get to it.
Yeah.
But like, Robyn's like, I'm tired. I don't want to make these stupid caramels.
Nor would I be. I wouldn't want to. It's Christmas. We've got 19,000 children and adults coming over.
I guess.
I'm probably participating in some way when we all know she's going to be
Whatever.
sitting back and
She
enjoying
ain't
the
doing
largesse of
nothing.
the entire family.
She's not
Christine's going to be doing
nothing.
everything. We already know. But she's like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. And so they come up with this madcap idea.
Brilliant.
Of like going out to Lola's or Lulu's.
Something, I don't know.
Something where they sell some caramels
Yeah.
and purchasing the caramels
Yeah.
and then microwaving them and repackaging them and pretending that they slaved away at those candies.
Yeah. And like Robyn thinks it's the funniest thing ever. Like she's like laughing so hard, like a little school
It's
girl.
weird.
And then she has some weird segment where she's like, I would be a terrible criminal. Because I don't know how to lie.
I know. I'm like, oh
Gay.
God, if you could only see into the future and see yourself being a thief and a criminal
Mhm.
and a terrible person. I dare say a demon, a
100%.
demoniac,
Yeah.
somebody needing to be exorcised of multiple demons.
Yeah.
We exorcised the first demon, and that demon brought 7 fucking demons
Yeah.
back with them into your body. That's how possessed you are with evilness Robyn. So keep
Seriously.
cackling away while you're getting your caramels in your weird
I know.
radiator shop or whatever.
I
But I am on to you.
We're all on
This
to
is
you.
second nature to you. Cheating and thieving and conniving.
100%.
That is who you are.
100%. And then Cody judges the caramels, and lo and behold, Christine wins because she's the only one that actually put love and effort into the caramels.
Yeah.
And that's it. But she's not worthy of being Cody's wife, apparently, because we know in season 19.
I think he's already stopped banging her.
I mean, 100%.
At this point.
Yeah.
But it's not until they're all on the couch
Mhm.
later discussing the caramel competition
Yeah.
that Mary and Robyn actually cop to the fact that they cheated
Yeah.
and start laughing. And Janelle's laughing and Christine's kind of laughing, although I think Christine's a little bit butthurt because she
I would
really
be.
did try very hard.
Yeah.
And then Cody gets up
Yeah.
and storms off. He's just joking, though.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an homage to Christine walking off for the wedding dress thing,
Yes.
which is kind of funny.
Yes.
But, and I mean, it was kind of a funny moment between all of them, like laughing and being jovial. But I would be Christine. I'd be like, really? I made 3 batches.
Yeah.
I slaved over all this.
Mhm.
And she probably cooked Christmas dinner too by herself.
Indeed.
I
Who
mean,
else is doing it?
Nobody.
It's not Robyn.
No.
It's not Mary.
It's not Janelle either, because
No.
she says she straight up in this episode, I don't cook.
It's probably Bonnie
Yeah.
and Cheryl.
100%. And Christine, that's it.
Yeah.
So Christine's slaving away, and she's doing this because she loves Cody for some reason and wants to win this competition for some reason. And so I would be butthurt too.
Yeah.
If Mary and Robyn just went and bought a bunch of caramels.
Mhm.
But whatever. And then we have Christmas Day, which is actually not on Christmas Day. It's on January 2nd.
So let's talk about that because I'm forgetting what the reason was that they gave to the viewing audience that they were going to have Christmas on January 2nd. What was it?
Well, they said it was because Mary wasn't going to be in her house by actual Christmas Day. But Robyn's kids went to Montana.
Last episode.
So maybe it was because they were gone for like 2 weeks.
It was 100% entirely because the kids were gone for Christmas. And so
So-
Robyn petitioned the priest of the family, the
Yeah.
pastoral of the family, and said, can we please have Christmas when my children are back? And they all agreed, and that is what they did. And this just made me think and reflect back to how many times in the last 2 seasons, so 18, 19, Robyn was talking about how the wives rejected her. They never truly accepted her. The kids didn't accept her or her kids. And I'm like, well, they're rearranging their entire holiday
Yeah,
so that your
for
kids
you.
can come back and enjoy the celebration. And then we get to like the presents and stuff. And like
Mhm.
everybody's super happy. Nobody's lording it over you that they
Mhm.
had to wait for. It's just like, it's not necessarily sussing out for me.
No, I don't see how anybody's been terrible to you. I mean, maybe Christine's been a little passive aggressive, but you also have been passive aggressive.
Mhm.
Robyn calling them fat and
Yep.
have stretch marks and giving them
That's
plus
aggressive,
size clothing.
aggressive.
100%.
That's malicious, vindictive, aggressive.
Yes, exactly. But miss me with this. Christine was a terrible sister wife,
Right.
and Janelle was so awful to you, and like you're best friends with Mary in these seasons too. Like,
Mhm.
so I can't. But yeah, that was the reason why they moved to Christmas to January 2nd. And I'm just like peeved because like this whole season and the whole last half of last season was all about how we have to get in before Christmas.
Yeah.
We have to make it before this deadline. We promised our kids. And you guys kind of get in before Christmas, but it didn't even matter because you were
Mhm.
postponing Christmas anyway to January.
Right.
Like they had 66 gifts for this entire family that they
Mhm.
just kept at somebody's house.
Yeah.
And waited to open until January. That's
Yeah.
wild to me.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what they do.
This is what
This
they
is
do.
how they do it as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then was it on Christmas Day or before Christmas Day we had St. Lucia's Day?
Oh, yeah. And I forget. Maybe it is on Christmas
I don't
Day.
know.
I don't
It's
recall.
some tradition. It's some
Right.
Scandinavian thing that Christine likes, and it's where all the eldest daughters.
She loves her holidays, her Joseph
Her
Smith
weird holidays.
her Brigham Young holidays.
Like,
She
it's so
loves
ridiculous.
that. Yeah.
It's just an excuse for her not to have to cook breakfast.
Yeah.
She makes the eldest daughters cook breakfast for
Right.
the whole family because it's St. Lucia's Day.
Yes.
Which, I mean, is kind of cute. And all of them make crepes or something. I guess they do this every year.
Mhm.
And this causes a little bit of a spat
Oh.
between Leon and some of the
Mhm.
other...
Maddie.
Yeah, Maddie in particular.
Because Leon doesn't listen to Maddie, who tells them to put like water
in the pan.
in the pan before the crepes. I don't know. I've never done anything like
Yeah.
that. Leon doesn't do that. The crepes burn.
Yeah.
Maddie's like picking on them
Yeah.
a little bit, trying to get a reaction.
I would be too.
Leon gives Maddie a reaction.
Yeah.
Leon stops their cooking and
Mhm.
stomps out of that house, never to return again.
So dramatic.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, I was that kind of a sibling growing
Teenage
up.
drama.
I would have been like Maddie too, and I'd been like, Leon, you're dumb. I literally told you over and over again, don't
Dummy.
water in the fucking
Mhm.
pan, and you didn't do that. So yeah, I would have been bothered. But it's stupid. Like, Leon has a little spat. It just shows further that Leon's been struggling.
Yes.
Similar to how Hunter was struggling when they just moved to Las
Correct.
Vegas. Like, this is just showing a light into the teenagers
Mhm.
and how they're not taking all of this very well at all. Nobody really cares. Like, nobody
it's
cares.
kind of like uncool
Yeah.
of Maddie because Maddie is in her big home and Maddie is already established
Good point.
in the new situation. And
Mhm.
Maddie is fully aware that Leon is upset that they're not in their home. And
Yeah.
Maddie is taking advantage of this moment to further sort of prod Leon. It's not nice.
Yeah, it is not nice. And then we have the actual Christmas Day, which is not actually Christmas Day. And we open all of the gifts and
Yeah.
everybody's opening it all at once. And then we have Cody opening his very special gift from Robyn.
Okay. It's a social security card with her new name, Brown.
Wow, amazing.
I mean, and he starts getting verklempt
Mhm.
and tearing up. It is the most meaningful and special present that I have ever received on any Christmas ever. And meanwhile, your other 3 wives, who also changed their last names so they could be aligned with you, are all sitting right there.
Yep.
But he's happy because he wants all of his wives to share his name. He wants all of his kids to have his name. We're going to get there too with the adoption
Yeah.
in later seasons. The one thing that I thought was interesting was that the person who seemed really happy for Cody and Robyn in the moment was Christine.
Oh, yeah.
Like sitting on the couch. She's like, oh my God, yay.
Yay, amazing.
Super celebratory. Again, demonstrating that I think Christine really did try to be a good sister wife.
Yeah.
And was trying to be supportive of Robyn.
Mhm.
But Robyn and Cody have this special moment, and I'm snoring.
It's so dumb.
I don't care.
It's so dramatic.
I really don't
too.
care.
And Cody being like, I was shocked and awed by this gift. I'm like, it's
Okay.
a social security card, but like, whatever.
Give me a gift card to Starbucks. It's way better than your
Literally.
social security card.
Well, and I think like in that Christmas special we watched on Patreon, wasn't there like a Christmas where one of the wives gives him a freaking laptop or whatever? Like they spent all this money on this stuff or like guns.
Wasn't that last season? I'm
Was
getting
it?
it
I
all
don't know.
mixed up.
But like they went all out for
Yeah.
him and he was like, this isn't what I wanted at all.
Yeah.
But a social security card shocked and audio. Okay.
Mhm. Well, he's in love with her.
And that's what it is.
That's his divine soulmate,
Yeah,
Beatrice.
that's what it is. And that's why it means so much to
Yes.
him. And then we have Mary finally getting a call like on the night of Christmas. That's not actually Christmas. She finally
Mhm.
gets a call from Mona, which she had been waiting for all day. And Mona's like, you're approved. And so then they get to move into their house. And at this point, Leon's working their shift at some Smoothie King or whatever. So Leon doesn't know, and Mary and Cody devise a plan to go to the Smoothie King to surprise Leon with their key to the house. They had already called Leon's boss,
Mhm.
and Leon's boss was super supportive and came in to replace Leon so that way Leon could leave early and go and unpack at their home, which I thought was really sweet.
I thought it was really sweet too. I also thought it was awesome that the rest of the family, including Robyn, came over, brought the U-Haul truck, and immediately that night, as soon as they got the keys, they
Could not be
started
me.
packing up that U-Haul. But I thought that was great for Leon because
Yeah.
Leon just wants to be with the rest of the kids.
Yeah.
Leon wants to be one of the kids.
Yeah.
Leon wants their mother to be included with the other families and wives. And
Yeah.
so it's a very special moment for all of them. And so I thought it was neat. So they moved him into the new home in the McMansion and they are all together. But my question was, and we hadn't talked about it, so I just had to ask you, sidebar.
What?
What would have happened
Mm.
if Mary's loan didn't come through? What would have happened if all 3 other wives had their McMansions, but Mary never got hers? Because if you recall, they had been saying that we want to all be together. And so if one wife or 2 wives can't get in and 2 wives can, like, we're not going to do it. We can't do it. But the 3 other wives had already closed on these homes. What would they have done if Mary hadn't?
I mean, that's a good point because everybody moved in. Like, they didn't even care.
You're not getting them out of those homes,
No
honey.
way.
No.
They're like, we're moving in today
Mhm.
and getting our stuff in today. So Mary was still apparently in limbo. That's like a really good hypothetical because I feel like Mary would have just been stuck in her rental.
She would have stayed in that rental, I guarantee you.
And then somebody else would have bought another home in that cul-de-sac.
And they would have
compound.
shared their polygamous compound with that rando. They would have been 100% happy to do that.
Oh my God, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, and they would have made Mary feel bad for complaining about it. And Mary would have probably said, okay, well, can we try and find a different situation? Do we need to sell these homes and find a different piece of land? And they would have said no.
Yep.
And that would have probably precipitated Mary leaving the family for good.
I was going to say, in an alternate universe, maybe this is
that
the
would have
time
been it.
that Mary would have left. So the catfish wouldn't have even happened.
Yes.
She would have already married off with somebody and had her beautiful lesbian butch dream with somebody in an alternate universe.
Dare to dream.
I mean,
Dare to dream.
I mean, if there's infinite universes and infinite possibilities.
She's already with a woman somewhere on a motorcycle in Disneyland somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. The other thing I wanted to talk about was on Christmas, after everybody was opening their presents, and I think they had like a little mission statement moment where Christine was like, okay, let's just all brainstorm what we want to put in this mission statement. And Janelle's like, this is the 6th circle of a Dantean hell. I hate it here. Just like you, Christine, hate to show up to the My Sister Wife Closet meetings. I hate to be in the mission statement meeting. Can we move on with it? So after that moment, Cody stands up and he gives his little pastoral priestly speech about what these homes actually signify, like, and everything that it actually took for them to get to this moment. And I was just thinking as I was watching, I'm like, you know, it really is a lot. Because just 2 years previous to the filming of this, even though we're on season 6, it's only been like a couple of years, 2.5 years.
Oh, yeah.
They were in Lehigh, not living in poverty necessarily, but definitely low income people, right?
Of course, yeah.
And in just 2 years' time, they are now moved into these huge ass homes.
Huge.
These are big fucking homes in Las Vegas, living the lifestyles of the rich and famous. And so Cody's standing up there saying like, I mean, praise God, praise be to Kolob.
I mean, 100,
and to the God of Kolob for all of our blessings. And I was like, you know, you really have had a fantastic come up.
Oh, definitely.
Wow.
In such a short period of time. And maybe that's why they were so eager and so hard pressed on these homes, because they were like the best homes that they ever lived in at this period in time in their life. Like, I'm trying to think like I'm trying to, because they were in a single wide. They were in a single wide before Lehigh.
Yeah, they've never been in it since, except for Cody and Robyn, because Mary's got her haunted B&B.
Yep.
And Janelle is somewhere with her kids in North Carolina. And I mean, maybe Christine and David Woolley, but even their home is not as, maybe it's as.
I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
But it's not like,
it's not better than.
No,
that was like the
not.
best that they lived.
Oh, for sure. I mean, but maybe, well, Christine had her nice home in Flagstaff.
It was
okay.
Nice.
I mean,
it was not as big. I mean, it wasn't in Vegas, so already it's infinitely better.
Exactly, yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, did they ever achieve that level of like success again?
No,
I don't think they have.
I mean, except for Robyn and Cody with their $2.1 million
after
mansion,
stealing all of their money.
Yeah, which
after
is
stealing
absolutely insane.
Allegedly.
Goodness gracious! I mean, they really, like, when I was looking at the cul-de-sac and looking at all of their homes, and after everybody kind of like moved in, and Leon and Mary finally got their house, I'm like looking at this, like, this really would have been like the best arrangement for everybody. You're all in one area. You have a gated community. It's safe. Most of you guys like Vegas. It's safe. The walls are up in the backyard of the compound. It's safe. So, like, it was, like, perfect for them.
Yes.
And, like, you see, like, in some of the scenes, like, in the background, you see the kids just, like, walking out the front door and, like, going to somebody else's house. And I'm like,
or in the evening on Christmas, they're like, okay, we're going to go out and play some ball or whatever.
Peace out. Yeah. And, like, that's such a great arrangement. And this would have been really awesome if they just freaking stayed there.
Yeah.
Like, moving to Flagstaff later was just the death of the family.
Absolutely.
I mean, we know that, but like, it would just
nail in the coffin.
Absolutely insane to me.
I think like there was a hope and a dream to duplicate what they did in Vegas on Coyote Pass. I think Christine bought into that dream. I think Mary and Janelle did. I wonder whether Cody ever did, whether Cody and Robyn ever actually had a plan for the big home or wanting to locate themselves onto Coyote Pass. I'm not sure. But it's just, yeah, they had the most perfect setup right here in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And as Cody's addressing his family, as corny as it is, I mean, I feel him acknowledging that, like, this is so great. Like, this is everything we ever wanted. And oh my God, we're manifesting our dreams. We're the architects of our future. You can just feel the hope in him. And also a little bit like, holy crap. Like, how do we maintain this?
Oh, yeah.
Each home costs, I don't know, $475,000 as of like 2012, 2013.
Well, and he even makes a comment about that at the end. He's like, no, these mortgages are really difficult for us to make. Like this, we're putting ourselves in kind of like a financially tight spot, but it's worth it to get out of the rentals. Like he says that. And I'm wondering, like, is that true? I mean, it does make sense because I think when they leave to go to Flagstaff, it's because their loan payments are due or whatever.
I think so.
And they just couldn't afford it. And that's why they had to leave. And that would make a lot of sense. So they put themselves at major financial risk.
I think so.
To make all these homes. And I mean, if you look at it objectively on their face, like only one person has a freaking job. It's Janelle.
Well, they all have a job of TLC. And I think that is truly what they're gambling on. They're gambling on the success of this new show.
Could not
which
be me.
At this point, season 6 is wildly popular.
Yeah.
But I think by season 11, the ratings are starting to dip and they have to renegotiate their contract. So like it really is risky in that way. And these are big fucking mortgages. And I think that they've got adjustable interest loans with like a big payoff at the end. And I mean, like there's a lot going on here, but they are rolling the dice so that they can be together. And Cody in this moment on this Christmas, which he calls the best Christmas ever.
The best Christmas ever. That they've ever had.
Social Security card. Best Christmas ever. This is like, it's the best one.
Yeah.
Because they're all together in this moment and it is recreating the vibe of Lehigh, which I do think at this time he really wants to return to.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, obviously over the next few years, he's going to get away from that dream and he's not going to want it anymore. But like right here, right now, that's what it is. And they've got it. They've got it all, baby.
Well, and I think Janelle even says a comment too, like this is what it feels like our family is starting to feel like our family again. Like it's really nice for us all to be under one roof.
Yes.
Like we were in Lehigh. Like this is really great. This is what we've been searching for this entire time in Vegas. Like you can really feel like how terrible it's been for them being in these rentals and being apart from one another. Like they really put their family to the test at this point in time.
Yes.
So now that they're back in the cul-de-sac, we'll start to see how that starts to disintegrate even further. And then they end up just breaking that apart again and going to Vegas.
Yeah. Now that you kind of pull away the layers of all the things that was standing in the way, now that you guys are where you said you want to be, like, are you going to make this work? Are you going to be able to have a schedule? Are you going to be able to have a rhythm that's healthy for everybody? The answer is no.
Yeah.
And we're going to be watching that in the seasons to come. It's fantastic.
I love it.
Great.
It's really crazy and trashy. And then we have the preview for next week's episode where apparently they're burying a time capsule somewhere in Vegas.
I remember kind of coming online with Sister Wives and becoming conscious, like the AI, around this time. And it might have been when they were digging up the time capsule.
Do they dig it up?
I don't know. Or when they were burying the time. I don't think it was when they were burying it because I don't remember the other stuff. Yeah, but I do remember them having a time capsule and doing the whole thing, burying it in somebody's backyard.
Well, and I was seeing that and I'm like, I wonder if there is an episode where they unearth it. But I'm like, that's so useless. Like you're unearthing it in like a few
4 years later. Okay.
Like that's so silly to me. But if they didn't unearth it and they forgot about it, I would love for some forensic raccoon to go and find that crap on Google Earth.
Let's get like an archaeological group together to
Like
go
a
dig
site.
it up. Yeah, to just dig it up and see what they've been doing.
That would be
see
great.
what they got in there.
I would love to see it.
Me too.
And keep it for Sister Wives memorabilia. And then we have Cody digging a hole in his backyard and asking Mary yet again about having a baby.
And I'm going astral.
I
And I'm leaving this dimension.
How many times do we need to ask her?
And I can't be arsed.
She's literally in her 40s.
Sick of it.
It's so ridiculous.
Like, we've been having this dumb conversation since season 1. We are in season 6.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can't. I mean, Mary, you are postmenopausal at this point.
Literally.
I'm sorry, you're not. You're 43, you're perimenopausal. I'm just saying you're old.
Still.
You're old as hell. And you don't want to.
No.
Because if you were motivated to have a child, you would have been doing something. You would have been taking Robyn up on her dumb offer. And so I'm like, why are we continuing to have this conversation? And my theory is that it's just this attempt to continuously center and platform Robyn and her altruistic offer to be the surrogate. So everybody just thinks she's so freaking great.
That would make sense, honestly, because otherwise I'm like, this storyline is absolutely pointless.
Yeah, I'm bored.
It's so boring.
I'm bored.
I'm so over it.
Bored.
Seriously. Bored. And then we have a preview of Robyn giving her speech to the kids about the biggest mistake she's ever made in her life. And I know what this is about. It's about her being a hoe.
Really?
Yeah, and her losing her purity. Because she gives like this whole speech with like a locket, and she like tells a story, and she starts crying immediately, and she's wearing this stupid like Mormon skirt and everything. And she's like, let me tell you
we
about
have Mormons
story.
who watch us, and they don't think their skirts are stupid.
I'm just crapping on Robyn's Mormon skirt. Like, not Mormons and wearing skirts. That's great. you wear
it's Robyn skirts. And her specific Mormon skirt. Got it.
Exactly. Because she starts crying, and she's got like a locket, and she's like, let me tell you a story about a girl who gave her heart and her purity to a boy who didn't care. He threw it in the trash. And it was the biggest mistake of her life. And all of the kids, like, I saw a clip about it a while ago. And all the kids are just like going limp, just listening to her talk about this.
God.
And Janelle in the background is like, I
Get
did that
me out
too.
Of here.
But also she did it too when she was married before Cody.
Oh, yeah?
So it's like, why are we talking about Robyn losing her purity?
Yeah, nobody cares.
No.
It's just very cringe. That sounds
super cringe.
Turbo cringe, and I can't wait to get to it. That's terrific.
I know.
I'm sure Maddie is just sitting there with that hook face, just like, shut up, Robyn.
Well, and I'm like, is she like talking to Caleb at this point in time too?
I think so.
And some of these kids are probably
people get mad when we bring up the fact that I think Maddie was talking to Caleb around the time of 17 years old.
Yeah.
At least 17 years old. And he was like, what, 45? I know he didn't have no hair, honey.
Yeah.
I mean, it was weird.
Yeah.
It was a weird time.
He was a whole ass man at that period of time.
Was she like, she wasn't. Okay, I'm going to stop right here because that's inappropriate. But like, maybe Maddie needs to hear this lecture more than anybody else there.
Maddie and McKelty.
Oh, God, yeah.
Maybe
McKelty
Logan.
And her boobs and her camisoles.
100%.
Her tank top.
Yeah.
God forbid.
And Logan, who's probably at college and all these frat parties.
Swanging the noodle.
Yeah.
Swanging it.
Drinking and swanging and screwing.
I hope so for him.
I know.
God, live your life, young man.
But anyway, so then we're going to have to see Robyn cry about that with the locket. And I can't wait.
The locket, which is emblematic of the cookie.
Robyn's cookie.
Of the cookie.
Of her fat cat.
Of her fat cat. You know she got fat cat.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely fat now.
It's fat now. It's a fat cat now. May have been a razor blade back then.
Maybe.
How dare you? Are you saying I'm fat?
No.
Because that don't make no sense that you would even imply that.
No, I'm just saying.
So do you have a razor blade because you're not fat? No, that's not what a fat cat is.
No,
you can be very thin and beautiful and everything
and have
with a big old fat cat
juicy
now.
cootie. I know.
That's right. And you could be a big old thickums, honey, with a little razor blade.
I mean,
not much. You can. I mean, fat does look for an area to distribute itself into, but like it is possible to have just a razor blade.
I'm just
and be
saying
a big
that
old
hers evolved.
Yeah. She's rocking a fat cat now. Without a doubt. It is time to go. We gotta go, honey.
Yeah, we gotta go.
It's too much. Well, is there anything else that we need to say to these beautiful raccoons before we get aboard out of here, Bildred?
Well, if you love our podcast and all of our talks about fat cats and razor blades,
how could they not?
I mean, please go to your favorite podcast platform and leave us a glowing 5-star review. Let us know how we're doing, and let us know in the comments below if you got a fat cat or a razor blade.
Oh Lord, I will be reading those comments now. Let us know, and no shame in your game. Everybody everybody's got fat cat.
Sure.
Or a noodle.
Or
and
a
we love
bald
it.
ego, or whatever.
Bald eagle?
Yeah, somebody commented on our YouTube a while ago saying that they don't have either one of those. I got a bald eagle.
What's that?
You know
Did you Google?
You know what a bald eagle
But
is?
a bald eagle on a fat cat or a razor
I don't know.
blade? I'm confused. I got to do some research. Now, we will be back. Are we going to be back later this week?
I don't know. No. So this is our second time recording this.
We are having Mercury Gatorade problems.
Again. And it's late.
Very unhappy about it.
It's late. She got to go to bed.
I'm just tired.
She's tired.
Gen X.
Yeah.
I got to go to bed. Huh.
I do too.
So we were going to record all of our answers to your speak pipes, but we're going to do that next week. We're going to try and figure out and troubleshoot what's going on over here.
Yeah.
So we do have a lot of your calls, and you guys can continue to call. We'll just have a
Please.
mega longer episode next week where we can all get in the dumpster and talk about it.
Exactly.
But until then, please do not forget that we have nothing but love for you, and peace out.
Bye.
Bye, guys.